Welcome to a Podful of Saints. This is series 3. I think this is number 7, something like that. So that'd be a winger. That'd be Matt Hand or someone, wouldn't it, Lee? We're recording this on Tuesday, the 14th of September, 2021. Myself, David Tavener. Over there, it looks like a white shirt tonight. Lee Wood, although it says on his camera, John Daly.
David, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Lee. And then a definitely yellow thing there. Oh, very pretty. Jake Ellacott, it says on his thing there.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well.
He says it every time, Lee, doesn't he? So sincere.
I'm just the nicest person.
Right, we've got a football match to talk about from last Saturday. That's the 11th of September, away to wherever we were, Slough Town, Arbour Park, metallic Mecca, council-owned ground. Wasn't as bad as actually when we suggested on the website last week. But anyway, let's get on with the game. A 3-2 win, a very good win. Unfortunately for Slough, 2 defeats on successive home Saturdays, and they feel they should have got at least a point out of both and probably won both. We won it with clinical finishing and a rather softly awarded penalty. How do you two see it?
The penalty is I can't actually believe it.
It was a disgrace. Listen, I was never going to apologise for a Saints win ever, but that result probably papers over a lot of cracks for me in terms of our defensive frailties. But that said, that is a farcical penalty. That happens at least a dozen times all over the pitch, every single game, anywhere across the country. Never a penalty. However, we will take it. The fact that Ian didn't really even mention it in his post-match probably suggests how embarrassed he was by the whole decision. But again, never going to apologise for a Saints win. So, yeah, onwards.
Depends who's asking the questions as well, Lee. What about your take on it, Jake?
Yeah, penalty. Couldn't believe it. I don't know what they're doing there. Apparently, the Slough Town highlights were absolutely infuriated by the decision, and I can understand why. Same with the management team. And as Lee says, it does paper over a few defensive cracks for me that once again have shown. I mean, to go 2-0 up, looking confident, and then suddenly 2-2, and quite lucky, really, to pick up the win in the end. I think there's some definite issues that really do need addressing. Of course, going forward, we look great. We know we've got the players. We know that's not an issue. But defensively, there's a lot of question marks. And if the Saints do want to challenge for a playoff place this season, I think something needs to change with the defence, even after a good win. And of course, we should celebrate it. Good win, 7 points on the board, but still a lot of question marks for me.
God, I'm surrounded by pessimists. Slough was so tame for the first 20 minutes or so, and we got those 2 goals. Good through balls, excellent finishes. Got a query their defence, but once their midfield got to grips with the game, we played a back 3 and they exploited it again and again. The balls out to the aiming at our 2 fullbacks. Have we had any there? And they used that gap well. They just didn't capitalise on the chances they created. So what would you like to see us go back to a 4 at the back?
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, we played with 4 back most of last season. It worked really well for a lot of last season. And I mean, it's hard because Ian's got these defensive injury issues. Michael Clark is actually, I think, quite a big miss at this point now. He's really starting to show how much we miss him. Of course, Devontae as well. But it feels like we just don't quite have that sort of connection we had at the back last season. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's training different. If Chris Winton's impact is slightly different on the training pitch this season, but it's just not quite working.
I've got enough coaches, about 1 man each, shouldn't they?
Lee, I'd be interested to hear what you think is needed to address the issues at the back, actually.
I think it says quite a lot, though, Jake, when we're looking at Michael Clark as being our defensive saviour, considering that both you and I panned him off royally about sort of 2 years ago. But obviously, no, but he's come good. You know, last year he was really, really good, really good. I think that any time when any attack with speed towards us, we're in problems. That killer pass, we just can't defend it. But then that said, that does also mean that their midfielders have got more time on the ball to pick out those passes. So it's very easy for us to sort of lump on the back 3 or back 4. But the ball is coming back towards us too quickly and too frequently, really. what I would say, is there a quick fix? Well, obviously not, otherwise it would have been done long before now. All I would say is that we're getting results, fellas, you know, but ultimately over the course of time, we will come unstuck. But how many times do you have to score 2 or 3 goals to actually win a game or get a point? You know, it's got to stop somewhere along the lines, especially if we have got real, true aspirations of challenging for the playoffs.
Well, second highest scores in the league, or in the division league. So it's
yeah, no, absolutely. But I'll tell you what I was impressed with as well, the connection between Goddard and Jeffers, that quality. I mean, that bisecting pass for our second goal was absolutely fantastic. And that is the sort of thing, that is sort of football attacking skill and guile that we should be, you know, applying on a regular basis. Quality players all around the pitch. Just at the minute, we can't keep them out. So we do have to sort of score 2 or 3 goals just to get anything out of a game, which is a concern.
It's funny, we're down in 12th place. 2 teams in the top 5, one's letting more and one's letting the same. So we're not the only ones looking for a good position that may have to address problems at the back. In fact, we're only 3 points off 3rd place. We could turn it around and say we're only 3 points off 3 off the bottom as well.
Yeah, the table is incredibly tight at this point, isn't it? No one, you know, most of the teams have dropped points already, apart from 1 or 2 at the top. I would actually like to mention Liam Soul as well. I thought he took his goal really well on Saturday. Looked like a really good finish from a difficult angle. And I was pleased to see him get on the score sheet. I know he started against Tonbridge and it didn't count in the end. He started on Saturday. It's good to see him get a goal, and I think that's really good for his confidence, because we never actually got to see him playing with confidence during his first spell with us on loan. So I think hopefully he can really improve.
Do you know what? Our disciplinary record, the bookings, is the highest per game in our history at the moment, which is ridiculous for that side. And the 3 we got Saturday, you wouldn't have seen them from the highlights. I thought actually the referee, Andrew Humphreys, he got all 3 wrong. I think the Lancashire one, he responded to the crowd because it was right in front of the bench. And the Hugh Dawson one came after bum, 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 and he felt he had to do something to stop an accumulation there. And Mitchell Weiss was just booked for being Mitchell Weiss. He had 3 bookings last season. None of them seemed to be justified either. But that doesn't do justice to that team, does it, to have that record?
To be fair, though, Taz, it doesn't sound as though the referee got too much right on Saturday, mate, to be honest with you. But that said, booking, I mean, come on, you know, it's points on the board that matter at the end of the day. And bookings are really a nonsense for me.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do justice to that side. It's not fair for him to be labelled with that record. The referee wasn't that bad. He got 1 or 2 wrong. But don't they? You try and tell me players make fewer mistakes in the game? No way.
I mean, I would like to mention the amount of penalties we've already got this season. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And how many of them have actually been properly penalties?
All of them. All of them,
yes,
Jacob.
Sorry, yes.
It's good enough for the refs, mate. It's good enough for us.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to the Tunbridge game being abandoned, Sean Jeffers is the first City player to score in 4 consecutive, score from the penalty spot in 4 consecutive games. I need to check it. I think he's up in our top 30 successful penalty takers now as well. But what about his other finish as well? 1-on-1, you knew he was going to score.
He's doing a brilliant job, I think, up there. I mean, we saw it last season for a lot of the season, but this season he seems to have improved even more, I think. I don't know if it's because the players around him, like Lee says, John Goddard, I think, is helping a lot. But yeah, Jeffers, when Ian brought Jeffers in, I remember Ian saying to me, this will be one of the best signings I ever make at this club. And fair play to him, it's proving right at the minute. He's banging the goals in, and without him, we'd be really struggling this season. So Jeffers, as you say, when he goes 1-on-1, if he's got any half chance in front of the goal, it feels like at the minute he's putting them away, and he's just got supreme confidence.
Yeah, shame no one else is scoring regularly.
Don't need him.
Well, all it takes is a little injury, and we hope somebody else can step up. It's the same problem we've had at the back, isn't it? We've a couple of injuries there, and it's left us exposed. Indeed.
Talking of injuries, has anyone heard an update on Devontae at all? It's been pretty quiet for the sort of last week and a half, isn't it? Of course, I know it's early on, but
it's been just one mention on the website, which they can do better than that.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few comments on the forum and social media asking how Devontae is, so hopefully we can get an update soon. And I think, yeah, I mean, poor lad, hopefully he's out now out of hospital and actually back at home.
You not heard anything, Lee?
No, haven't heard, but you can only sort of hope that he's now resting up and recuperating. But it would be nice for the club, especially for all those fans who did travel down to the game, and it was so distressing to see. Just to sort of give us a brief update. It hasn't got to be anything, deep. Just a nice little update to keep us fans.
It looked like we had another nasty incident last Saturday as well. Inside the first 10 minutes, Ryan Bird of Slough, totally on his own inside the centre circle, went up off the ground, and he suddenly pulled out going for the header. Straight down on the ground, crumpled up, didn't waste any time getting a stretcher on for him. And it turns out dislocated his left knee. They put it in, it popped back out again. He was in hospital Saturday night. Hopefully everything's fine and there's no ligament damage, but it did look painful at the time. So wish him well.
Slough have launched a fundraiser for him as well, because I think his normal job outside of football is very physical, so he can't work, I think they said, for the next 2 to 3 months. So if any supporters that did go down there would like to donate to that, go to the Slough Town Twitter and the link is there.
What are you saying? Because you didn't go, you don't have to donate?
Hey, you're making my nice persona, Dave, look bad now. Come on.
Is everybody okay? Right. We've got an FA Cup match coming up this Saturday. Do we look in good shape for it? Well, last 3 games, 7 points and a draw from last 3 games. It could be a worse build up, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got to go there confident. But back in my mind, it's Concord away. Don't like Concord away. Who wants to go there in the FA Cup?
We've touched on this, Jake, haven't we? Hey,
yeah.
We're not going to go over old ground yet again, mate. And that is an old ground as well. So
it certainly is. But yeah, we've got to go there confident. But Concord will as well. They've had a brilliant start to the season that I don't think anyone really expected. So be confident, but it's going to be tricky, and I think we know that. And I think Ian will be very prepared for it.
You'd rather have had Hemmel's tie, wouldn't you? Away to where?
They'll still lose.
He's stoking it up already for Christmas, Lee. It's one all Conference South match. What league are we in now? National League South tie. Braintree Town versus Billericay Town. Oh, that's all blue, isn't it? Oh, they could borrow one of our kits.
Essex Derby.
Essex Derby. Do you want to make a prediction for that one then, you two?
I'll go 2-1 Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more confident. I'm going to go 3-1.
Cool.
You both went for the win last Saturday and you both got it right. We shan't worry about the actual scores because that's just detail, isn't it?
Exactly.
Only to you, Dave. You're a details man.
Right. Going to turn to matters off the pitch. The Trust have got some elections coming up. Now, you two will have more information on that than me, so I'll pass the mic over to you.
Take it away, Lee.
Well, no, I was just going to say that obviously the Saint City Trust, who have done some tremendous work for the club, they have launched their new membership scheme for this year, and also it's election time. So the new board members are in the process of being nominated. And obviously, I do urge anyone who is a member or thinking about becoming a member to do so. But not only that, if you're thinking about becoming a member of the board as well, because I think it's really important to have a say in the running of the club. I know that during my time at Stand By Your Saints, along with obviously Jake, yourself, and Michael Hill and Sophie Brooks and Julie Scott, we had very sort of close dealings with Ian Rogers, Barry and Duncan at the Trust. And they are so keen and strong guardians of St Albans City. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting now to sort of see what their role is in the club going forward. So please do get involved in the Trust. It's absolutely vital, that we still maintain those channels between the supporters and the parent club.
Because the Trust does have representation, does it not? With the senior club, if you like, on the board, however you want to phrase it. So that shows how significant it is. Yeah. Has their role changed at all, Lee, since Stand By Your Saints shut down last year? Because obviously you did the booster budget and other things like that. Has the Trust taken on anything along those sort of lines?
I don't believe so, but I don't think that was because their business model was slightly different to ours at Stand By Your Saint. We were more of an immediate impact style of group. raising money, raising awareness, community engagement. I think the trust is very much a safeguarding the future of the club, because obviously don't forget they were formed off the back of a very uncertain future for City. Money wasn't always around, and there was sort of talk about players not getting paid, and we just wanted to sort of really secure the future, short term certainly. The membership grew. Obviously, Peter Lewis was involved, and Ian Rogers from the absolute start as well. He's been an absolute tower of strength in terms of the trust. Has their role changed? Possibly, but I think it's still important that whoever is involved in the trust still holds the club to account when they have done things wrong. And the club have come out and said that as well. They have done some things wrong and they've apologised. But what would be actually ideal? To not make those mistakes in the first place by opening up those channels to supporters, to making sure they get the key decisions right in the first place.
Consultation.
Communication.
Oh, do you remember those days?
Oh dear. I will say that obviously the Saint City Trust. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when I was a younger supporter, I used to think that's a bit of an old boys club. Who wants to join that? But I will say to any young Saints fans watching this, please join the trust, because it desperately needs. I think Ian Rogers put on record, I think late last season, that they need younger members. They need younger people to get involved, especially with the end of Stand By Your Saints and the way it happened. We need that younger members, younger people. And I don't think it's necessarily happened so far. So hopefully they can get that. And I think hopefully over the next year or two, the trust can as well reach out to them as well, because I think it's very tricky for it at the minute.
So we've got some new supporters, quite a few new supporters this season, looking at the numbers. So they should be made aware there's a club membership, club if you like, and a Saint City Trust, and the two are nothing to do with each other whatsoever. So if you go for a trust, you get a voice, hopefully, within the club. The club membership is totally separate. Right.
I think it also is important that sort of Jake touched on there, that it is seen as like a old boys club, but that's only because people need to sort of step up. You can't rely on the same people year after year to maybe change things up a little tiny bit. It is all, you need to have a trust which is fully inclusive and is a fair reflection of our fan base. And at the minute it isn't, but that's not the trust's fault. The trust are doing a great job. We need people now from the terraces to make that step up. And that is what is really important.
Right.
God, look at us being serious. Oh.
I know you want to give it a go, Taz. You want to get on there, mate. That'd be great.
It won't last. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll start saving up. One day. Right, have you two got anything else? The chance are this is going to be a short one because we've got Jimmy Gray coming on in a minute. We're recording them both on the same night. So we intended cutting this one short so we can get more time talking to Jimmy. You two done?
Well, it should be. I'm all done, mate. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I think so. Just want to point out Hemel didn't win again. Well done, lads.
Now, hang on. I got an email the other day saying, is this a Hemel podcast or is this a St Albans City podcast?
Good point.
You know what? It's a City podcast that absolutely bins on Hemel. So that's...
I think they got a penalty Saturday and James Colocci, it was who got fouled for it.
Oh,
I think they got a throw-in, mate, as well, to be fair to you, but let's not highlight that,
Oh, dearie me. On that delightful note.
We'll be back next week with a review of our FA Cup win, according to these predictions, away to Concord Rangers.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone.
Cheerio.